Yeah, welcome to the Weege Show from warm and sunny Foxborough, Massachusetts. This is Gillette Stadium, home of the New England Patriots. That used to mean a lot a couple of years ago. First time this race had ever come to this stadium. There was Foxborough Supercross in the old stadium way back in the day. But the first time it came to this stadium, I don't know, I'm just estimating here. Maybe it was 8 years ago, 10 years ago. Everyone was freaking out because you had Bill Belichick's parking spot, which I think one of the teams lowered their back gate to their truck and put a dent in it. Now the mystique of the Patriot Way is kind of gone. So now it's just another race, but the point I was making is the weather is actually good today. We might have the inverse of my normal theory where the weather gets bad as the weekend goes on. It's gonna be beautiful today, it might be bad tomorrow. I found Grant Harlan. Okay, I wanna know the mental anguish. I'm just gonna be straight up, no worse way a weekend can go than for you last weekend. Crashed in the heat when you were in, crashed in the LCQ when you were in. What is the actual mental anguish? I want you to relive this, by the way.
Believe it or not, I was more upset after the heat race.
Because that was, the LCQ wasn't your fault? Is that why? When you make your own mistake, it's worse or what?
So, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Ninth.
Yes.
Literally all I had to do.
Yeah, bring it home.
Was, like, if I just clear that single,
yeah.
No problem.
You weren't, no one was even that close, right? Like you were by yourself?
He'll actually, I think, I mean, I can't say for sure,
yeah.
But I thought I had a pretty big gap back in 10th.
Yeah.
And I think at one point during that lap I saw him.
Oh, okay.
And maybe mentally I brushed myself. I don't know.
You honestly don't know though?
No.
Yes. Okay, so LCQ, you're good. You're in second place, you're fine.
Well, so I'm in second behind Freddie.
Oh, that's right.
Honestly, I'm kind of making a couple mistakes here and there. A-Rod passed me.
Yep.
And then, like I heard Paulatelli behind me, Chiz behind me, and I'm like, all right, I can't keep letting these guys pass because, you know, you let one guy go and then everyone else passes you. Yeah. And then Freddie makes a mistake. I started riding better. I'm like, I feel like I could pass A-Rod back if I found an opportunity.
Fellow podcasters here, JBAC show. Oh, what's our heart rate right now? Oh, it's Brian. Yeah, where are we at?
135.
135. That's the scoops that JBAC show gets. I didn't even ask.
Yeah,
I didn't even ask.
It's all about heart rate.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're talking about
40 today?
Oh yeah.
An hour or no?
Just 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Maybe hit a couple intervals. Not a lot of practice, but do a couple intervals right
Yep.
now.
Yeah, no riding today. Yep. He's talking about heart rate break. He's talking about heart rates. We're talking about heart break. Okay, so you're like, I cannot let this happen.
Yeah.
You hold on.
Yep. I hold on. I honestly feel like I started riding.
Yep.
Way better.
Yep.
Chiz makes a couple moves on me, and I'm like, I can't let him ride.
Yes.
Because then I don't know where Fifth's at. I just know there's guys behind me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hold him off for as long as I can.
Yeah.
And it was white flag. I'm like, all right, even if he does pass me somewhere, I should be fine.
Yep.
But get to that same corner he'd been trying. You know, I do my normal, like, run it up to the outside. I watch A-Rod go over the table.
Yep.
3, and I'm like, oh my God, see you later.
You knew it was happening in the air.
Well, I watched him go too far left.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna double my way through here. And dude, I went to go double over, and the bike just made a right turn right into me.
Oh gosh.
And I thought I was gonna miss it. I thought, like, oh, even if it clips me, I should be okay, and it just threw me down.
So that was, the heat felt worse, actually.
Oh, way worse.
Okay, so again, to make you relive the worst moments of your life here, when you're back at the truck or you're leaving the building, we always just figure the guy's super bummed, but we don't even know what is going on at that point.
I mean, after the LCQ, what are you gonna do?
Did you throw tools? Did you punch anything? You punch Joey over here?
I've got some input on that.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Did you punch anybody?
No, I threw some goggles after the heat race.
You did? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He was upset after the heat race.
Yeah.
I said, it's no different than a quarterback throwing an interception in the third quarter. He drove down in the fourth quarter on the goal line, and the guy fumbles the ball on the handoff.
Not his fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is good. That is good.
That's my theory behind it.
Well done, Joey. But you're still.
It is a good theory.
It is a good theory. But you threw goggles after the heat.
Yeah. Sorry, Brad.
How quickly are you out of here?
I mean, I stayed through all the way through the 450 main.
What was this?
That 450 main ended in heat.
Yeah, but that's actually impressive. I thought you were gonna say, dude, 250 gate dropped, I was out.
No, I mean, I had my whole family here.
Oh God.
Well, like, honestly, like, so I was so mad after the heat race.
Yes.
That after the LCQ, I was just like, what are you gonna do? Like, I'm not even mad anymore.
You had processed all the emotions already. Dude. Okay, so I thought you were gonna say you were gone, maybe in your gear in the car.
No.
No, okay.
No, like, I would honestly say I was closer to being gone in my gear after the heat race.
Yeah.
Like I said, after the LCQ, it's like all the emotions gone, and it's like
that makes sense.
There's nothing you can do at that point.
Look, dude, you have not gotten the breaks this year. Seattle was like the perfect example of pretty much how the season's been going. Do you at least feel like your riding is getting better, even though you didn't make it?
I don't know. I feel like my riding's been good.
Yeah.
Like qualifying in Seattle, I struggled a little bit.
Yep.
But like most of my qualifying laps were good.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like I only ran one good one in each practice, but I feel like I feel like you heard a lot of the guys after the 450 maybe like that's one of the gnarliest tracks they've
Oh
ever
yeah,
run.
yeah. One lap is probably all you're gonna do right. Yeah, totally.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So this is just circumstances. You're riding well enough.
Yeah. I'm riding better than I was last year.
You're riding better than last year.
Yeah.
Well, last year, you came in late because you were hurt. Even by the end of Supercross, you were still better this year than last year.
Yeah.
It's the problem that everybody gets better, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
exactly.
I feel like my speed's better.
Yeah.
Maybe my, honestly, I hate to say like my racing fitness. I don't know.
Well, you're working on that right now.
We are working on that.
Maybe do some of those Justin Brayton intervals. Which one just blow yourself out today?
Yeah.
Be ready for tomorrow.
I'll ask Davey, see what he thinks.
Oh, gosh. All right, Grant Harlan, better luck next time. It's TJ Albright right here.
How are we?
Are you a true Yankees fan?
From New York. It's
Wow.
my way of representing.
Yeah, I'm from Jersey, so I'm a Yankees guy myself. But as you've probably seen, nowadays people just wear that.
Yeah.
It's their style.
Yeah, a lot of people just wear it because they think it's cool. But
Yes.
Maybe I'm one of those guys because I don't really know much about baseball, but I kind of wear it everywhere just for kind of
show.
representing the homeland of New York.
That's cool. Now look, when you get mentioned on the TV show, JT will mention you come from a racing family. So can you explain that part?
So my dad, no one in my family has raced dirt bikes.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
So growing up, I raced bicycles really heavily.
Okay.
I rode for Factory Felt and Factory Hyper.
Is this BMX? Or
BMX racing.
Oh,
yes.
really? Okay.
And at the same time, my dad raced BMX. He was a pro. He won a pro title. So so growing up, everything was bicycles.
Yeah.
And then I got into the moto thing pretty late, like 2010-ish.
And how old are you at that point?
I would have been 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, it's hilarious to hear that, but around here, that's 6 years late.
Yeah. You start racing when you're 4.
Yes.
So I did the bicycle thing.
And even at 10, were you still bicycle and a little bit of moto?
Yup. Yeah. I kind of went through a patch where I was like bicycle, football, moto, and then at one point, like I remember there's local series MSC, like I would just go and race the first motos, and then because I would have a football game in my hometown at 4 p.m. so then we would leave, go to the football game. Yeah, so at one point I did have to pick what one I kind of wanted to pursue, and as crazy as it sounds, like the bicycle thing it came very easy to me.
Yeah.
To where there was like a 2-year period where I didn't lose a race.
Okay.
And I kind of just got burnt out of like the winning factor, right? Like I wanted a challenge, and that was motocross for me because I was absolutely horrible.
Still feeling the challenge now?
I still
at the
feel
elite
horrible
level?
some
You
days.
do? Yeah. Well, it's just tough because I feel like BMX, the ceiling, where do you go?
Yeah.
Here, there's a real pot of gold, so there's an incentive for all these dudes to keep doing it. What were you going to do there?
Yeah, I mean, at the time it wasn't in the Olympics like it is now, so that's kind of the pinnacle of it, right?
Right.
I raced for my country in the Olympics.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That would have been very, very cool.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it's kind of resourcing like you're a privateer, even when you're the top of the level BMX racer.
Yeah, I'm buddies with Connor Fields, and he's
all
just
your income. Yeah, like Connor Fields, for instance, more of his income was coming from a Fly or a Monster or stuff like that than it was coming from the bicycle brand.
And he's just in a rental car changing his gear in the back seat.
Yes,
there's nothing like this.
No, it was big rental cars, and yeah, I miss those days because it was cool. The biggest thing I miss about the BMX days is at one point me and my dad were on the same team.
Wow.
So that was super cool. So basically, me and my dad were able to travel the country on somebody else's dime at the time, which that was super cool.
Yeah, nobody here has that story.
No,
nobody.
No
Just for your racing this year, we talked to Press Day about a month ago. Top 10 has been the goal.
Yeah.
I feel like you're riding really well. Are you there with your expectations? Because I think it's been a really solid season for you.
It's definitely been a step in the right direction. I haven't missed a main except for the East-West in Indy. So that's all good and stuff like that. But I want to be better, right? It's just the name of the game. It's you know, why we do this is to see how far we can take it. I truly believe that I can get a top 10. I think what was holding me back previously was my starts. Last weekend in Seattle, I had really good starts. Got absolutely cleaned out in the heat race while I was in 5th for literally no reason.
So you would have been fine.
Don't understand that. Was in 5th and got absolutely demolished. So I was very frustrated after that one. And then LCQ got another good start and had a big. One thing I have matured about this year was you can try to kill yourself for a gate pick in an LCQ. At the end of the day, you have the 4 worst gates in the thing. So we had a big gap back to 5th, and I was just like, you know what, having kind of a rough night going. Let me just cruise this in. And so I got 4th in the LCQ, and then the main event was last weekend was tough. Went down, hurt my shoulder. Had like a 2-minute lap time at that point with 3 laps down. Last weekend was kind of a step backwards, but there was positives in it with how good my starts were. But I think just plugging away and keep doing it, I think I can reach my goal of where I want to be. But for the most part, the whole season is in a step in the right direction from last year and even years prior. Yeah,
I feel. Back to this LCQ, you had a big gap, like you said, over
Marsh.
Who?
Marsh.
Now, I actually happened to sit next to Marsh on the flight last week. He's sleeping on an air mattress at your place, and he was the dude behind you in the LCQ.
Marshall made the move to Tallahassee. He started training at MTF with myself and the rest of the MTF crew. And I think it's a big asset to have Marshall around. You know, he has a lot of experience, and he's lived on both sides of the pond, and he knows a lot when it comes to bike setup, training, everything like that. So I was willing to do whatever it took on my end to kind of get him to Tallahassee. And he's still sleeping on an air mattress in I have a 1-bedroom apartment with, he's sleeping on an air mattress. And
is his girlfriend there too?
Nope, just him.
Okay, that would get crazy.
Yeah, that would get a little hectic. But he's in the process of closing on a house, getting a house. So hopefully that all goes well for him. And but I told him, I said, it's an open invitation. You can stay up. You want to do this same situation for the rest of the year, I'm all for it.
Last thing, why are you here? Are you racing?
Racing 450.
You race 450? On a 450?
On a 250.
Oh, on your 250.
Yep. I did a few rounds this year. I did Daytona actually on Marshall's 450.
Okay.
He wasn't racing from his crash at Press Day in Tampa. And Wednesday, before Daytona, I called him and I was like, hey man, can I race your bike? And he was like, yeah, I don't care. Go. I raced his full bike, his suspension.
Just sitting on the truck, pulled it out, rode it.
The only thing I changed was the handlebars. And then I did Birmingham on my practice 450 because we were able to drive there. And then this weekend I'm just racing my 250.
Okay.
Just trying to get some points for Mathis's LCQ race.
I just try to be a wild card.
I tried.
Always pull.
He just told us that he wants to have different wild cards than last year. He just texted me that today.
So you got to earn it now.
I got to earn the spot.
So today the goal is 5th in the LCQ. I hate to say that.
Is first.
That's what you're.
That's my book.
This is unbelievable. He's at least admitting it. All right, good stuff, TJ.
Yes,
That's TJ Albright and Grant Harlan. TV 101. Don't chew gum while on camera. But also, I don't want to spit out this gum. It has some flavor, so we'll get back to it when the clip is over. This is the Weege Show brought to you by the Honda CRF250R and CRF450R. And speaking of that, spoiler alert, I'm going to go interview Chance Hymas in a moment. What's up?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, man, this is not that local. Why are you here?
Come on.
I expect to see you in Pittsburgh area.
I'm in Connecticut, buddy. I'm only an hour away.
I thought you were a megawatt guy.
Well, megawatt was supposed to come up, but Donnie wasn't coming, so he didn't come up.
Okay. Well, everybody will be there in Pittsburgh. Everybody in Pittsburgh. Nice display we got here. What's up, everybody?
Thank you.
Yes, looking good. That guy helps us out at our Racer X booth. He's friends of Megawatt. Where were we? Yes, the show sponsored by Honda, the CRF450R and CRF250R. And I will talk to the lone soldier for Factory Honda this weekend, which is Chance Hymas. We know that Grandpa Earl or Dean Wilson will be back on the bike racing the 450 class for starting in Philadelphia. Anyway, to wrap up that TJ Albright interview we just did, I cut the video after that because it got so darn windy. I knew the audio would be terrible. Now it's died down. Yes, Mathis has this LCQ challenge race in Denver. Go to his Janky PulpMX website. I hate to promote it, but it's for a good cause, because if you buy a raffle ticket to win a Yamaha, that money then creates a purse that is paid out to the privateers in the Mathis Yamaha LCQ race Friday of Denver. 250 with 450 graphics? 250 with 450 graphics. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. The goal is 5th in the LCQ because Mathis keeps point standings, his own separate point standings to qualify for his race. 5th in the LCQ, first guy to not make it essentially gets first place points, and that's what creates the seeding of who gets into his race, and TJ Albright is racing for that. So as I might have mentioned earlier in this show, yeah, it is sunny out here. It is perfect weather. I came loaded for bear. I got jackets, I got hats, I got gloves, I got all, and I ended up going for a jog this morning in a t-shirt and shorts. That's how nice it is. It's probably about 70 degrees right now, maybe 67. But tomorrow is supposed to be terrible. I'll go down to the track in a minute and show you the condition. They told me there's still a lot of standing water, so that's why they're not riding today. And I believe the free practice tomorrow is once again going to not happen, which is once again going to lead to all the riders saying, why don't we just do this all the time and not have free practice? But Mathis, speaking of him, got a scoop last week that the free practice does come in handy as a way to see how the track is developing and then make track changes before the actual qualifying sessions. And I've been saying it quite a bit on the Weege Show this year. I feel like the tracks lately have been more raceable. There's been more areas where you can make passes and more areas where if you're in front of a guy, it's harder to hold him off. And I think that's what everybody wants to see. We've seen some really strategic races that really stick out to me are Detroit and last week in Seattle. There were several areas where you could make passes and only a few where you could not. What is the quickest, how do I get to the tunnel to get down to the field?
Over here.
This way?
Yeah.
Go down the left, thank you.
You'll see all the people in front of it.
Okay. Now we're figuring things out. Anyway, that free practice does help them figure it out. Now, they didn't have the free practice in Seattle, and the track did turn out to be raceable. But to me, if the riders got to ride like another 8 minutes and show up to the track an hour earlier to create a better racetrack at the end of the night, I don't think that's a really big sacrifice. And most industry types working jobs like myself are like, this is great. We don't need to get to the track till like 11 or noon. 11 or noon, what are you doing? What's wrong with getting to work at 9 in the morning or 10 in the morning? It's not that big a sacrifice. So I'm all for it. But since they're not gonna have it tomorrow, everyone's gonna say we don't need it anymore. Let's go down to the racetrack and see what we've got developing. Okay, we've arrived trackside, and now my gum, that's what I get. It's all messed up. Speaking of that, so is the track. So I guess it's rained here all week. So the track's, this is like the real stuff, not covered down here. You can see how muddy and wet that is. This is, of course, the great mystery, what's underneath the tarps. As I mentioned, I think at the top of the show, I can't even remember, this is the inverse of what I normally say, where we can get rain all week, but as long as it's great on Saturday, the track will be fine. We might get the opposite of that. We might get the worst weather of the week tomorrow, and that'll be interesting. This is the conditions we're dealing with right now. And let's go talk to Chance Hymas. And then after that, we'll see you Saturday. Thanks for watching the Weege Show. Go back to his gum. A little bit of flavor left. Here's Chance. Okay, look, this guy's gonna carry the sport on his shoulders today. This is Chance Hymas here. We're inside the Honda rig because all the other media, at one point we were all looking for riders, no riding today. Were you even on the media day list?
No, I'm just here.
You're just here?
Just here.
Right, so like dogs, I'm like, oh, Hymas is here. And I went inside the truck, so they're probably not gonna find him. And Honda sponsors the show, so why not talk to a Honda guy? Okay, does this help you at all? The beginning of the year, you weren't even maybe supposed to race Supercross. The idea was to use Supercross to just learn for the future, be ready for motocross. Mm-hmm. Once you're racing though, can you remind yourself of that? Or are you suddenly like, I should be on the podium or winning all the time?
Yeah, I've definitely not been reminding myself of that.
You've not?
I have not. So.
But was that the story before? Going into the season?
100% it was. Yeah, 100%.
And now you're bummed?
Yeah, I'm not now. I was, yes.
Okay.
No, it's hard when you're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And each weekend, you know, you feel like you're doing all the correct steps, and you feel like you should be that guy that's winning.
Mhm.
And, you know, you're like, why not me? Why can't I be that guy that's winning? And you all of a sudden you're looking at the big picture and you're forgetting all these steps you need to take. You know, as important as waking up and having a good breakfast. You know, like you honestly kind of forget those steps, and having a good practice. Like those steps matter to get to the big picture in the main event. So. Yeah, I think for me, you know, taking it one session at a time, and honestly, like, work here, like, no one really has, like, I need to be here, like, that's the expectation, you know. It's like the expectation is let's get some more valuable testing done on the bike, and learn more about the bike, learn more about yourself, get stronger, because obviously our goal is for outdoors. Yeah. But it's like, just do something, at least, only if it's one thing per night that you do that's positive, more positive than the last weekend. It's at least something, you know? Yes. Like, we need to leave each weekend learning more and, you know, being better. So.
Yeah. And that's not just the result?
No, I mean, I could get 8th place 2 weekends in a row, but I mean, if I qualified better, that's still a positive, you know?
Okay,
like, that's, as hard as that is for me to say, because I don't want to be getting 8th place. No. But, you know, it's a matter of fact, like, you need to go through, sometimes you need to take a few steps back to you know, make that big leap forward. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I think I was trying to get too much out of it, and I was, you know, being a little impatient with how little bike time I had and how little testing I had, and it's obviously starting to catch up now. But I mean, overall, like, this weekend off kind of helped me. I took a step back and realized, like, I'm right where I need to be. I'm honestly better than where a lot of the people in my corner thought I was going to be.
You could have just not been racing Supercross at all, right?
Exactly. I mean, I could have had a lot more problems, and, you know, I wasn't even supposed to race Tampa. You know, it's hard for me to say that because I don't want it to seem like an excuse, you know, but it's honestly, it's the reality of it. So it's hard for a racer, like I said, when you're in the thick of it, to take a step back, and, you know, that is the reality of it, and learn to accept it. I feel like that's very important, and what I've been trying to learn, and try to be mature about it a little bit, but and try to just limit those highs and lows, because it's like, obviously, we're racers. When we don't do good, we're not stoked.
Yes,
you know?
Straight up.
And I've had a couple bad weekends in a row, just honestly just not executing when I need to. Yeah. So just that, and just it builds each weekend, and, you know, you get pretty bummed, but luckily for me, I got good people in my corner, and, you know, I had a solid talk with JB about it, and
Brayton again.
Yeah, it's the tens. It's the 10 fever, you know. I'm definitely feeling a lot better about myself. You know?
Kidding.
But no, it's like him, and along with a lot of other guys, like, he's been there, done that. Like, each racer goes through the same thing where you want so much. Like, he was saying, like, he got second place to RV a handful of weekends in a row, and he's like, he's pissed about it, you know. But, like, it's like, people remind you, like, you're doing something that a lot of people can't do. Yeah. And a lot of people wish they were in your position doing. So it's just learning to honestly accept that, and, you know, realize, like, what we're doing is cool. Like, I'm 19 years old, I'm riding for factory Honda, and, you know, I'm here, and I get to do this every weekend, basically. Like, at the end of the day, like, it's...
I say it all the time, Chance, the ambition in life is awesome. It's better to have that than be lazy. Exactly. But it brings some side effects of you're never satisfied. Never satisfied. Does it help? Last thing on this topic, and I'll let you go. Riding with Hammaker, is that helping or hurting? Just because you see how well he's doing on the weekends? I'm sure it's helping the work part, but on the mental side, you're like, what? Why is he winning?
Honestly, for me, I feel like it's very positive. Okay. You know, you can look at it like, I'm doing everything he's doing. We're doing the same thing. Why is he winning? Why am I not? Yeah. Or you can look at it and be like, he's winning, I can win. Yeah. You know, or I can.
Because during the week, you guys are battling.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Like, we just did a moto on Wednesday. We did a main event. We were same times the whole moto. You know. Okay. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you can also take a step back and be like, oh, Seth's much older than me, and you know, he's finally coming into his own and has some more balance in his program and his life, where he's, you know, finally starting to take off, you know. Like, there's those situations like that, but for me, it's like, I feel like me and him push each other, and I feel like our mindsets are very similar, to where it's all we care about is performing and doing well, and honestly just winning. That's what we want to do. Yes. You know, and we don't want to do anything else besides that, and hard work. So I feel like that for me it's been really good to be surrounded by that. You know, it's Do I have that with Jen Hunter? Yes, but it's different when they're on 450s because I feel like it's not like there's a big gap there, but it's just such a different realm. It's so different compared to the 250 class to where sometimes it just doesn't really translate, you know, like especially when you get more into detail. So I feel like with me and Seth, like we can relate on a lot more stuff because, well, for one, we're doing everything the same, but also we're racing the same stuff, and we're so close in speed that we can relate in so much more levels.
You even went through you're in the same races together.
Exactly. I mean, me and him have been in the same heat race all year.
Wow.
So we can't get away from each other, but but I mean, it's honestly been super good for me, and I feel like it's pushed me to be a better rider, and I've had to elevate to a better level, and I feel like he has too as well. So
it has helped. Okay, your breakthrough might be coming though.
We're getting there.
But if it doesn't on Saturday,
for sure outdoors. But I mean,
oh yeah, we know
for sure outdoors.
But if it doesn't happen tomorrow, you're not going to be as bummed.
I'll be all right.
Okay.
I'll be all right.
Yes.